શ્રી સ્વામિનારાયણ ભગવાનની જય, અક્ષર પુરુષોત્તમ મહારાજની જય, પ્રમુખ સ્વામી મહારાજની જય, મહંત સ્વામી મહારાજની જય. What exercise is to the body, reading is to the mind. એ દ્રષ્ટિથી અત્યારે આપણે સત્સંગ પરીક્ષાનું આયોજન સેલ્ફ અસેસમેન્ટનું દર 2 વીકે કરીએ છીએ. નેક્સ્ટ આપણી જે સેલ્ફ અસેસમેન્ટ ટેસ્ટ છે એ ઘનશ્યામ ચરિત્ર, તો એના ઉપર આપણે વિશે થોડુંક સાંભળીએ. ઘનશ્યામ છે એ છપૈયામાં જન્મેલા, અયોધ્યા નજીક આવે છે, ઉત્તર પ્રદેશ રાજ્યની અંદર. એમનું જે જન્મ તારીખ હિન્દી પ્રમાણે, ગુજરાતી પ્રમાણે ચૈત્ર સુદ નોમ 1837 હિન્દુ કેલેન્ડર પ્રમાણે. એમના ફાધરનું નામ ધર્મદેવ, મધરનું નામ ભક્તિ માતા, મોટા ભાઈનું નામ રામ પ્રતાપ, નાના ભાઈનું નામ ઈચ્છારામ. એમના 3 મુખ્ય જે ફ્રેન્ડ્સ હતા એ વેની, માધવ અને પ્રાગ. એક વખત ઘનશ્યામ પારણામાં સૂતા હતા વરાંડામાં. કાલિદત્ત નામનો એક રાક્ષસ, એમને ખબર પડી કે ભગવાન પ્રગટ થયા છે, તો રાક્ષસીઓને મોકલ્યા ઘનશ્યામને મારવા માટે. રાક્ષસીઓ આવીને ઘનશ્યામને લઈ ગયા અને ભાગી ગયા જંગલમાં. હનુમાનજીએ આ જોયું, વાયુદેવનો પુત્ર, અને એમને પછી ઘનશ્યામની રક્ષા કરી અને રાક્ષસીઓ જે છે એમને ખૂબ માર્યા. એ લોકો પાછા ગયા કાલિદત્ત પાસે. આ બાજુ હનુમાનજીએ ઘનશ્યામને લઈને ભક્તિ માતાને આપ્યા અને વાત કરી કે હું તો એમની સેવામાં છું, તો આપને જ્યારે જરૂર હોય મને બોલાવજો. રાક્ષસીઓ કાલિદત્તને વાત કરી કે અમે ફરીથી આવી રીતે મારવા નહીં જઈએ, કારણ કે એમની રક્ષામાં હનુમાનજી છે. ઘનશ્યામ જ્યારે 2.5 monthsની ઉંમર હતી અને પારણાની અંદર હતા, એમનું જે સકર હતું એ થોડુંક દૂર હતું, તો પારણામાંથી બહાર નીકળીને લઈને પાછા ગયા. બાજુની રૂમમાં ધર્મદેવ સાથે રામદયાલ વાતો કરતા હતા, અને એમને આ જોયું. એને એમને ધર્મદેવને પૂછ્યું કે કેટલી ઉંમર છે ઘનશ્યામની. ધર્મદેવે વાત કરી કે 2.5 months. તો રામદયાલને બહુ આશ્ચર્ય થયું કે આટલી નાની ઉંમરે આટલું બધું અવેરનેસ કેવી રીતે હોય. આ જો ભગવાન હોય તો આવી રીતે હોય. પછી એ ઘનશ્યામના દર્શન કરવા ગયા અને શરીરમાંથી તેજ નીકળ્યું અને એમને વિશેષ પ્રતીતિ થઈ કે આ ઘનશ્યામ ભગવાન છે. જ્યારે ઘનશ્યામ 3 મહિનાના હતા ત્યારે માર્કંડેય ઋષિ ત્યાંથી પસાર થતા હતા, તો ધર્મદેવે એમને બોલાવ્યા અને વાત કરી કે આમનું નામ પાડો આપ. તો માર્કંડેય બધા શાસ્ત્રો, એસ્ટ્રોલોજીના ને બધા જોયા અને કીધું કે એમનો જન્મ કેન્સરના સાઇન નીચે થયું છે, તો એમનું નામ હરિ થશે. કમ્પ્લેક્શન થોડુંક ડાર્ક છે તો કૃષ્ણ પણ થશે, તો 2 ભેગા થઈને હરિકૃષ્ણ નામ થશે. ઘનશ્યામ તરીકે પણ એમની ઓળખાણ થશે. અને એમનામાં ગુણો જે છે, ધર્મ, ઇન્ટેગ્રિટી, ટ્રુથફુલનેસ વગેરે, એટલે નીલકંઠ પણ એમનું નામ હશે. અને ધર્મની રક્ષા કરશે, સમાધિ કરાવશે, લોકોને મોક્ષ આપશે. આ બધી વાત સાંભળીને ધર્મદેવ ખૂબ રાજી થઈ ગયા. એક વખત ધર્મદેવને વિચાર આવ્યો કે ઘનશ્યામની પરીક્ષા લઈએ. તો એક બાજોટ ઉપર, સ્ટૂલ ઉપર ગોલ્ડ કોઈન, બુક અને સોડ એ 2 રાખ્યા. 3 વસ્તુ રાખી અને જોયું કે ઘનશ્યામ શું પિકઅપ કરે છે. ઘનશ્યામે પુસ્તક ઉપાડ્યું એટલે ધર્મદેવને નક્કી થયું કે આ મોટો વિદ્વાન થશે. 7 મહિનાની લગભગ ઉંમર હતી તે વખતે ભક્તિ માતાએ નક્કી કરેલું કે એમના કાન છે એમાં વિંધવા છે, હોલ મૂકવા છે. તો ભક્તિ માતાએ પછી એક ટેમરિન્ડનું ટ્રી હતું, શી સેટ બાય ધ ટેમરિન્ડ ટ્રી, અને મેન જે કરાવે છે એને બોલાવ્યા. He approached with a needle and he held Ghanshyam's ear, and light came from Ghanshyam. He got frightened and screamed. Ghanshyam withdrew the light and then disappeared from his mother's lap. So she called Ram Pratap Bhai, because Ghanshyam had gone up to the top of a tree. Ram Pratap Bhai climbed the tree to get Ghanshyam back down again, but to his surprise, he saw Ghanshyam sitting by his mother. And at the same time, he also saw him sitting on the tree. Then as he came down, Ghanshyam in the tree disappeared. And he said to Bhakti Mata, give me some gore and then I'll get my ears pierced. Lakshmi Bai was the maternal aunt of Bhakti Mata. Bhakti Mata said to her, was the maternal aunt of Ghanshyam. Bhakti Mata said to her, make some shiro, but you can take your time about it. So Ghanshyam became hungry and he asked for food. It was said that food will take a little bit of time. So 8 siddhis from the sky came down and brought food for Ghanshyam. Everybody was surprised to see this, and they asked that should we come every day? He said, oh no, only when auntie can't make the food on time. Dharmadev had a cow called Gomti, which really liked Ghanshyam. Bhakti Mata went to milk the cow. Normally Gomti gave milk twice a day. Ghanshyam also came with an empty glass and he put it under the udder. And lo and behold, milk started flowing by itself. Eventually the glass became full, so Bhakti Mata put a pot there. That also became full after some time. So she went to her house and brought some more pots. They became full as well. And she began to worry that there's no more pots and the milk is still coming. Ghanshyam said to her, the milk will stop now. And it did. Bhakti Mata said that because we have so much milk, we will make dudpak, so you don't need to eat this cold khichdi anymore. It was a time for Ghanshyam to have his hair cut, have a mundan. So Amai, the barber, was called, and when he came, he started cutting the hair of Ghanshyam. Half the head had been shaved, and suddenly Ghanshyam became invisible. So the barber stopped. Bhakti Mata looked at him and said, why are you stopping? Continue, finish it off. He says, Mother, how can I continue? Because I can't see Ghanshyam. Bhakti Mata could still see Ghanshyam. So she said to him that, look, make yourself visible and let him finish the job, because it doesn't look nice going around the village with only a half-shaven head. So then Ghanshyam became visible, and then Amai finished the rest of the mundan off. Kalidatta sent Kotra as well to kill Ghanshyam, a big Rakshasi. Ghanshyam was sleeping in the veranda when Kotra came. Ghanshyam looked at her and she started burning, and then she died on the spot there. Since Kalidatta had failed twice to kill Ghanshyam, he decided to come himself. And Ghanshyam and his friends were flying in the forest. Kalidatta came, and then with his magic powers, he created some really bad weather, strong winds, torrential rains. So the kids became scared. Ghanshyam told them to stay by the tree and take shelter there. And he climbed a tree. Kalidatta came and saw that Ghanshyam was on the tree, so he started shaking the tree vigorously to such an extent that the branches started breaking off and falling down. And Ghanshyam also fell down, and he thought that Ghanshyam had died with these branches all over him. But Ghanshyam had survived. And Kalidatta became angry. At that time, Ghanshyam looked at him, and Kalidatta rose into the air. And he got repeatedly hurled against a tree, and at that spot, he died. Once Ghanshyam had a fever, and his aunt Chandamasi came and saw him and realized that he's suffering from smallpox. And she said it's best to put him into a room and nobody goes to see him. Bhakti Mata's sister-in-law Lakshmi Bai came and advised that nobody should touch him or go near him, or he shouldn't have a bath or touch water. When Ghanshyam heard this, he said that as brahmins we have to have a daily bath. How can we go without doing a bath every day? And he said to Bhakti Mata that let me take a cold water bath and then this smallpox will go away. So as Ghanshyam was bathing with the water, lo and behold, the smallpox indications on the skin started to disappear. Once Ghanshyam and his friend, 3 friends, Veni, Madhav and Prag, they went to Mean Lake for a bath. There was a fisherman and he was catching fish. Ghanshyam saw that there were some dead fish in a basket on the side of the lake, and he felt sad that this person had killed innocent animals. Because of Ghanshyam's wish, the fish became alive and jumped back into the water. The fisherman saw this and he became angry on Ghanshyam, and he came towards Ghanshyam. Ghanshyam took the form of Yamraja and showed him Yampuri. And in Yampuri, this fisherman got a severe beating for what he had done. And then he realized his mistake and he asked for forgiveness. And Ghanshyam took him out of Samadhi. And this fisherman came to Ghanshyam and apologized and said that from now on I will stop catching fish like this. Once in a field in Targam belonging to Dharmadev, there were some crops growing there. And birds used to come, sparrows, and eat the crops. So Dharmadev said to Ghanshyam, go to the field and watch over to make sure these birds don't come. Ghanshyam went to the field and he saw there's hundreds of sparrows there. But at the same time he wanted to go and play with his friends. So he just made a sound and all the birds went into Samadhi, wherever they were. And then Ghanshyam went to play with Raghuvir in Bakshram at Madhavram Shukla's field. When Dharmadev came with Ram Pratap and he saw Ghanshyam playing, he rebuked him that you were supposed to look after the field and why are you playing here? Ghanshyam said everything's okay in the field, there's nothing wrong. We don't have to worry about the birds eating the crop. So that when they went to the field, they saw that all these birds were in Samadhi, and then Dharmadev realized the magical powers that Ghanshyam has. Once Ghanshyam sat down to eat on the veranda and a monkey came down from the tree and took Ghanshyam's puris away. Ghanshyam caught the monkey and threw him to the ground. Seeing this, the other monkeys came, a group of them, to attack Ghanshyam. Seeing these monkeys coming, Bhakti Mata became scared. She went to tell Dharmadev inside that these monkeys are coming to attack Ghanshyam and they'll do some harm. So Dharmadev went inside and brought a big stick to beat these monkeys away. At that time outside, Ghanshyam had taken as many forms as there were monkeys, and he chased after each monkey. Some he got hold of with their tail and some with the back of their neck, and then he started throwing them around. Seeing many forms of the same person, these monkeys became scared and started going away. When Dharmadev came outside and he saw the miracle that was happening, the Ghanshyam had taken many forms and he was beating these monkeys up, he was very surprised. Once with his friends, Ghanshyam went to the lake to play and have a bath. After the bath, he said, let's go to the mango tree and we can pick some mangoes and eat them. So they all went to a mango tree. Ghanshyam said, you stay here, I'll climb the tree and I'll pick the mangoes and drop them down and you can pick them up. So Veni, Madhav and Prag were standing below the tree. Ghanshyam climbed and he started picking the mangoes and the ripe ones and throwing them down. At that time, a group of brahmins, led by a brahmin called Ram Dutt, they arrived. Seeing these mangoes, Ram Dutt told his brahmins that pick these mangoes up, they can be useful to us. Veni said to him that these mangoes belong to us. If you want these mangoes, you should pick them yourself. Ram Dutt got angry on this. And then Ghanshyam came down from the tree, picked Ram Dutt's drinking pot and went back up the tree. Ram Dutt climbed after him on the tree. And he told his Brahmins, all climb up and let's get him. But they couldn't catch Ghanshyam. Next thing they saw was that Ghanshyam was on the ground. So they were wondering that how could he have come down? And then Ghanshyam told all the kids to throw stones at these Brahmins. And the Brahmins got a beating with the stones. Then Ramdat realized that this must be God. Otherwise, how could he have come down from the tree like this immediately? And he prayed for forgiveness. Once, Ghanshyam was playing with his friends and there was a peepal tree. So Ghanshyam climbed the peepal tree and he was looking in the west direction. His friends asked him, "What are you looking at?" He says, "I'm looking in the west direction, and in the land of Gujarat and Kathiawad, there are people there who are calling me, and I plan to go there in the future." Now obviously, kids being small, they couldn't understand this, what Ghanshyam was saying, but they just accepted it. Ghanshyam says things like this. Once, Bhakti Mata said to Ram Pratap Bhai, "It's time for lunch, can you call Ghanshyam?" Now Ghanshyam had gone to Ayodhya. So Ram Pratap Bhai went there and he knew that Ghanshyam listens to Katha. So the first place he went to was the Hanuman Gadi Mandir. And there he saw Ghanshyam sitting and listening to the Ram Katha. So he told him that we need to go home. Ghanshyam said, "There's just a little bit of the story and then I'll come." So Ram Pratap Bhai thought that since he's come to Ayodhya, he might as well go to the other mandirs and have darshan there. Every mandir he went to, he saw Ghanshyam sitting there and listening to Ram Katha. So he was very surprised. How could Ghanshyam just suddenly come here? 1 moment ago he was at Hanuman Gadi. Next mandir he went, Ghanshyam was sitting there. So he was surprised at this. So he went back to Hanuman Gadi and Ghanshyam was also sitting there. Then he realized that Ghanshyam had taken many forms and was listening to Ram Katha in every mandir, and he realized that how much interest Ghanshyam has in Katha. Once a Nawab came to Ayodhya and people knew that he was going to give a lot of trouble. So Dharmadev and his family decided to move to a place called Tinwa. And there they stayed at the house of Prathit Pandey. Now Prathit Pandey's wife, Vachnabai, daily she used to feed Ghanshyam lovingly. And Bhakti Mata used to help her with the household chores, like filling the water from the well and cleaning and things like that. Vachnabai had told Bhakti Mata that don't go to fill the water at the well after sunset because there are ghosts in there. Unfortunately, on one particular day, the water finished in the evening in the house and Bhakti Mata had to go to collect the water. So she went there with the bucket and the rope. She put the bucket in the well. As she tried to pull the bucket, it wouldn't come. It's like somebody was holding it down inside. So Bhakti Mata looked inside and saw all these ghosts and she became frightened and screamed and ran back. And then she mentioned to the people about these ghosts. So next morning, Ghanshyam went there and said, "I'm going to go in and jump in the well." People told him, "Don't do it, these ghosts will kill you." But Ghanshyam jumped into the well and divine light started coming from him. And he saw all these ghosts. And he asked them, "Why are you here?" He said, "We've done bad things in our life. That's why we've come as ghosts and we are here in this well. So please, can you forgive us?" So Ghanshyam forgave them and then sent them to Badrik Ashram. Ghanshyam in Ayodhya used to practice wrestling with Kesari Singh and his friends at Rajghat. One day, a really big wrestler by the name of Mahabali from Nepal, he came there and he challenged Ghanshyam to a wrestling match. Ghanshyam defeated Mahabali and then it started spreading throughout Ayodhya that a small boy had defeated this huge wrestler. At that time, 3 wrestlers, Mansang, Dilli Sang and Bhimsang, they heard about this as well. And they, because of their arrogance, they said that, how can a kid do this? We'll take care of him. So they went to the king, Rai Darshan Singh, and said, "Can you organize a match between us and Ghanshyam?" Rai Darshan Singh told them that don't bother with this thing. Ghanshyam is not what he appears to be. He is a God incarnate. But these people were very arrogant and they said that no, we still want to do it. So a contest was set up and the people of the town got together to see what was going on. Bhimsen took a chain and tied it to his right leg. And he said to the people that this right leg contains the strength of 100 elephants. I challenge Ghanshyam to move it. So Ghanshyam, with one pull of the chain, threw Bhimsang on the floor, and the chain snapped in half. Bhimsang became furious at this. And then he said to Ghanshyam, tie the chain to your feet and we'll pull it. Probably he had it in his mind that he'll swing Ghanshyam with the chain. So Ghanshyam tied the chain to his foot. Bhimsang came and tried to pull, but nothing happened. So he pulled harder and harder, but nothing happened. Then he told his other two colleagues that you two join in as well. So the three of them started pulling the chain. Again, nothing happened. Then he realized that he'd been defeated, and then he remembered what the king had said, that Ghanshyam is not what he appears to be, that he is God incarnate. And they apologized and said to Ghanshyam that we will never boast again about our abilities. Once, Ram Pratap Bhai's wife, Suhasini Bhabi, was cooking the food. Ghanshyam came to her and said, I'm hungry, can you give me something to eat? She said, the food is going to take a bit of time, but I'll give you some sukhri. Ghanshyam said, I don't want sukhri, I want pendas. Bhabi said that there's no pendas in the house. If you want pendas, you have to go to the shop. At that time, Suhasini Bhabi had taken her ring and put it down the side. So before her eyes, Ghanshyam took the ring. Suhasini Bhabi saw this and ran after Ghanshyam and caught him and then locked him up in a room. But to her surprise, when she looked outside, she saw that Ghanshyam was standing outside. I was wondering, how did he manage to get out of the room? Ghanshyam ran away and went to the confectionery shop. And there he said to the owner that, how many sweets can you give me for this ring? The shop owner was surprised that this ring can give so much. Ghanshyam said, give me all the sweets, as much as I can eat. So the shop owner started giving sweets and Ghanshyam started eating. Eventually Ghanshyam finished the whole stock in the shop. And then he gave the ring to the shop owner and came back home. On this side, Suhasini Bhabi had told everything to Dharmadev and Ram Pratap what's happened. So when Ghanshyam came, both of them were angry, Dharmadev and Ram Pratap, and asked, where is the ring? Ghanshyam innocently said, what ring? Ram Pratap got angry and slapped Ghanshyam on the face. Ghanshyam started crying. Then all of them went to the confectioner's shop. And they met the owner and they said, where is the ring? He said, I've got this ring, it's legit. Ghanshyam has taken all my sweets and in replacement there is this. Ghanshyam said that he's lying, I haven't taken any sweets from his shop. All his sweets are in the shop. Shop owner said that Ghanshyam is lying. Let's go inside and see. So when they went inside, to everybody's surprise, and especially the shop owner, all the sweets were there, nothing had been taken. So the shop owner gave the ring back to Dharmadev and then they went back home. Once Ghanshyam and his friends were playing at Kapa Talaudi. And Ghanshyam had went with his friends to Targam to play. After playing, Ghanshyam climbed a tamarind tree. As he was climbing, a branch broke, and it pierced his thigh, and he started bleeding. Ghanshyam came down. At that moment, Devas from the sky came down to have darshan of Ghanshyam, to see what had happened. And when Indra saw what had happened, he called the Devas' doctor, Ashwini Kumar. Ashwini Kumar immediately came and put some medicine on the wound, put a bandage, and then they all bowed and prayed to Ghanshyam and left. Ghanshyam and his friends went home, and the children told the family that this is what happened, that Ghanshyam got hurt and there's a bandage and things like that. So everybody looked, they opened the bandage, the mother asked, hey, where are you hurt? Ghanshyam said, I haven't been hurt. When the mother opened the bandage, there was no wound. There was a slight sign on the skin, a small spot. Ghanshyam and family and parents, together with Vasantabai and Chandamasi, were going to the village of Gunda. Aarti started when they reached the village in the mandir. and everybody was taking part in the arti. The pujari was doing the arti. During the arti, the murti, which had the garland on him, on itself, came down and put the garland on Ghanshyam. Everybody was surprised that what this is. How come this happened? This incident started spreading in the town. Eventually, King Guman Singh heard about this and he wanted to test Ghanshyam. So next day, 10 a.m., he called him. So Dharmadev and Ghanshyam went to the king. And the king said that if your son is God, then there are two tests according to the scriptures that can prove it. One is that God does not cast a shadow in sunlight like human beings. So they went outside and everybody's body cast a shadow except Ghanshyam's. So the king became more convinced. Then he asked Ghanshyam to show the soles of his feet. And he saw the 16 signs indicating that this is God. There were 9 signs on the right foot and 7 signs on the left foot. The king's wife, Queen Kuvarba, was overjoyed to see this and gave gifts and everything to Ghanshyam. The Ghanshyam and Dharmadevan family continued to Lucknow and Kanpur. Ghanshyam's youngest brother, Icharam, he couldn't walk easily because young, so Vasantabai carried him. Ghanshyam asked, why can't I be carried? Bhakti Mata mentioned that you are heavy and Icharam is light and he can't walk. But Ghanshyam said, no, I am lighter than Icharam. He is heavier than me. So Ghanshyam made Icharam's body became very heavy, so Vasantabai had to put him down. And then Chandamasi lifted Ghanshyam and found that Ghanshyam had no weight. He was very light. Vasantabai lifted Icharam again and found that Icharam's weight was normal. So everybody realized that Ghanshyam was doing this leela just to get somebody to lift him so he doesn't have to walk. Shri Swami Narayan Bhagavan Ni Jai.